On a quiet street in Scotland, where nothing ever seems to happen, something enormous was hiding in plain sight. A modest industrial unit. No flashing lights, no luxury cars, no obvious signs of criminal activity. Just concrete walls, a metal door, and a secret worth £8 million. Inside, stacked neatly like bricks in a wall, were hundreds of tightly wrapped packages. Each one carried the same deadly promise. Cocaine. Pure, powerful, and destined for Britain's streets. What police would soon uncover would become one of the largest cocaine seizures in Scottish history. But this wasn't just about drugs. It was about an invisible network, an international supply chain, and a criminal operation so bold. It believed Scotland was the perfect hiding place. Tonight, we uncover how a massive cocaine shipment reached Scotland, who was behind it, and how one small mistake brought everything crashing down. This is the story of Scotland's £8 million cocaine bust. To understand the scale of this bust, we first need to understand Scotland's relationship with cocaine. For decades, Scotland has struggled with drug abuse. But while heroin once dominated the streets, cocaine has quietly become the drug of choice. In cities like Glasgow, Edinburgh, and Dundee, cocaine is no longer seen as a rich man's drug. It's everywhere. Used by professionals. Used in nightclubs. Used at house parties. Used behind closed doors. And demand creates opportunity. Organized crime groups know this. Scotland sits perfectly positioned within the UK. Close to major ports. Connected by motorways. And less visible than London. To traffickers, it looks like a safe place to store product. And that's exactly what happened here. Every major drug bust starts the same way. A whisper. A tip. Something that doesn't feel right. In this case, it wasn't violence. It wasn't gunshots or gang fights. It was movement. Vehicles coming and going at strange hours. Industrial units rented under vague business names. No legitimate trade activity. Police intelligence units noticed a pattern. The location appeared dormant, yet it had security cameras, upgraded locks, and regular late-night visits. To experienced officers, this raised a red flag. Surveillance began quietly. No sirens, no arrests, just watching. Who came in, who left, and how often. What they saw confirmed their fears. This wasn't a storage unit for tools or equipment. It was something far more dangerous. Police didn't rush in. A bust of this size requires patience. Officers tracked vehicles linked to the site, checked license plates, ran background checks. Some names began to appear again, and again, and again. Men with previous drug offenses, known associates of organized crime groups, individuals who lived far above their apparent means. Phones were monitored, movements were logged, patterns emerged. Then came the critical moment. Authorities believed a major transfer was about to take place. If they waited too long, the drugs would disappear. If they moved too early, the operation could collapse. They needed the perfect timing. In the early hours of the morning, police units quietly took positions. Unmarked vehicles lined nearby streets. Officers wore protective gear. Weapons were ready. This was no small arrest. Inside that building could be armed criminals. Or worse, when the order was given, the door was forced open. What officers found inside exceeded even their most extreme expectations. Row after row of packages. Cocaine bricks, wrapped tightly in plastic, stacked like construction blocks. Hundreds of kilograms. Pure street poison. The estimated value? £8 million. One of the biggest cocaine hauls Scotland had ever seen. As the drugs were secured, police moved quickly. 3 men were arrested in connection with the bust. All adults. All believed to be deeply involved in organized crime. They weren't low-level street dealers. These were logistics men, middle management in the drug world. Their job wasn't selling. It was storage, distribution, and protection. They said nothing. No explanations. No confessions. But the evidence was overwhelming. Cocaine doesn't grow in Scotland. It begins thousands of miles away. In South America, countries like Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia produce most of the world's cocaine. From there, it travels, hidden in shipping containers, smuggled aboard boats, concealed among legitimate cargo. By the time it reaches Europe, its value has multiplied tenfold. Investigators believe this shipment entered the UK through major ports, possibly England, possibly mainland Europe first, then transported north, quietly, carefully, until it reached Scotland. Why not London? Why not Manchester? Because Scotland offers something criminals crave: lower visibility, less saturation of law enforcement compared to larger cities, fewer eyes watching warehouses and industrial estates. It's a place where a shipment can sit quietly, waiting. This cocaine wasn't meant to stay in Scotland. It was a distribution hub. From here, it would be broken down, moved south, flood the UK market. Stopping it here saved countless lives. When news of the bust broke, the local community was stunned. Residents had no idea that millions of pounds worth of drugs were sitting just meters away. Parents, workers, families, all living beside an invisible danger. Police emphasized the importance of public awareness. Criminal networks don't look like movies. They hide behind normal buildings, normal streets, normal lives. The arrested suspects faced serious charges: drug trafficking, possession with intent to supply, conspiracy. Convictions for crimes of this magnitude can result in decades behind bars. Courts treat large-scale cocaine trafficking as a threat to national safety. This isn't personal use. This is organized crime. This bust wasn't just about £8 million worth of drugs. It was a message to criminal organizations watching closely. Scotland is not invisible, and it is not safe. Law enforcement agencies across the UK work together, share intelligence, track movements. One mistake, one suspicious pattern, and years of planning collapse overnight. The cocaine was destroyed. The investigation continued. Police worked backwards. Who financed the shipment? Who ordered it? Who was waiting for it? These answers don't come easily. But every seizure weakens the network. Every arrest creates fear, and fear creates mistakes. The war on drugs isn't loud. It doesn't always involve gunfire or explosions. Sometimes, it happens quietly, in warehouses, in storage units, on empty streets at dawn. The £8 million cocaine bust in Scotland was a victory, but it was also a reminder. As long as there is demand, there will be supply. And as long as criminals try to hide in plain sight, someone will be watching, waiting, because somewhere right now, another shipment is moving, and another story is about to unfold. If you found this story insightful, subscribe for more in-depth true crime documentaries. Leave a comment below. Do you think Scotland is becoming a major hub for drug trafficking? And as always, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe.